At 3:15 a.m. local time, the geography of the Middle East was rewritten in fire. For decades, the world has spoken about the red line tonight. That line wasn't just crossed, it was vaporized. In a massive coordinated aerial campaign, United States B-2 Spirit bombers and Israeli F-35 Adir jets have carried out what is being described as the most significant military strike of the 21st century. The targets, not just nuclear facilities, but the very nervous system of the Islamic Republic of Iran. But as the smoke clears over the ruins of the Natanz enrichment plant and the headquarters of the Revolutionary Guard, a much more terrifying question is emerging. Reports are filtering out of Tehran that the unthinkable has happened. The Supreme Leader is dead. Is this the regime change the West has dreamed of for 45 years? Or has Donald Trump, the man who promised America first, just been outplayed by Benjamin Netanyahu, dragging the United States into the very endless war he swore to avoid? Today, we go deep into the shadow war that just turned white hot. Let's look at the how. This wasn't a symbolic strike. This was a decapitation mission. Military analysts are calling it Operation Shattered Crescent. The U.S. provided the heavy lifting, stealth bombers flying halfway across the world to drop bunker busters capable of penetrating hundreds of feet of solid rock. Israel provided the precision using electronic warfare suites that reportedly blinded Iran's S-300 and S-400 missile defense systems before they could even fire a single shot. The targets were chosen to paralyze. They hit the power grids, the command and control bunkers, and the drone factories that had been supplying Russia. But the main event was a direct hit on a highly secured compound in Tehran. The initial silence from the Iranian state media was the first clue. Then came the chaotic broadcasts. Then the confirmation from intelligence sources in London and Dubai. Ayatollah Ali Khamenei did not survive the night. For the first time since 1979, the Islamic Republic is a ship without a captain. But if you think this means a peaceful transition to democracy, you haven't been paying attention. Does the death of a supreme leader lead to regime change? History tells us to be careful what we wish for. In the streets of Tehran, there's a mix of silent hope and paralyzing fear. Yes, the youth of Iran have been crying out for woman-life freedom, but the Supreme Leader is not the only power in town. The Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, the IRGC, controls the guns, the banks, and the ballistic missiles. With Khamenei gone, the IRGC is no longer a shadow government. They are the government. We are likely seeing the birth of a military junta with a religious face. Instead of a transition to democracy, we may be witnessing the transformation of Iran into a Middle Eastern North Korea, nuclear-armed, cornered, and with absolutely nothing left to lose. If the regime feels its survival is at stake, they won't go quietly. They have sleeper cells across the region. They have Hezbollah. They have the Houthis. The death of one man might have just removed the only person capable of telling the radicals to hold back. Now, let's pivot to the political fallout in Washington. And this is where it gets uncomfortable for the White House. Donald Trump campaigned on a singular promise: no more endless wars. He told his supporters that America first means bringing the boys home and letting the rest of the world fix its own problems. So how did he end up co-signing a war with Iran? Sources close to the administration suggest that Trump feels outplayed. Benjamin Netanyahu, a master of political survival, has spent decades convincing Washington that an Iranian nuclear weapon is an existential threat, not just to Israel, but to the world. By presenting undeniable intelligence that Iran was hours away from a nuclear test, Netanyahu effectively forced Trump's hand. The America First doctrine hasn't just been challenged, it's been shattered. Trump is now the commander-in-chief of a regional war that has no clear exit strategy. Critics are already saying that Netanyahu has successfully outsourced Israel's security to the American taxpayer. The irony is staggering. Trump wanted to be the peace president, but he has just authorized the largest military escalation since the 2003 invasion of Iraq. Is he leading this war, or is he being dragged along by a partner who has a very different vision for the Middle East? As the bombs fall, look at the map. Every country in the Middle East is suffering tonight. Lebanon is a graveyard. Syria is a smoking ruin. Yemen is starving. The global economy is bracing for a $200 barrel of oil as the Strait of Hormuz becomes a combat zone. The Islamic world is united in a way we haven't seen in years, not in support of Iran's government, but in condemnation of Israel and the United States. From Cairo to Islamabad, the streets are on fire. And yet, in the center of it all, Israel stands alone, condemned, isolated, but militarily dominant. Netanyahu has achieved his goal. His primary rival is decapitated, and the U.S. military is acting as his shield. But at what cost? Israel is now a garrison state. Its neighbors view it not as a state, but as a permanent military occupation. By winning this round, has Israel made its long-term survival impossible? When the U.S. eventually pulls back, and they always do, who will be left to help Israel bridge the gap with its neighbors? We are in uncharted waters. The Supreme Leader is dead. The America First policy is in pieces, and the bombs are still falling. Is this the beginning of a new free Iran? Or is this the start of the great Middle Eastern war that experts have predicted for 40 years? One thing is certain. The world you woke up to yesterday is gone. This is World Shift Report. We will stay on this story as it develops. Keep your eyes on the horizon because the sun is rising on a very different world.